Hello, everybody. So today we are going to cover PowerPoint slides 31, destructive waves as promised, through 41, all the way down here to the end of tsunamis. So let's start off by talking about destructive waves. So what exactly are destructive waves? Well, destructive waves are any type of waves that will cause damage to a structure of land, man-made structure. One of the largest structures that was destroyed or that had an influence was the nuclear power plant off the coast of Japan. It was the the Fukushima power plant that experienced a tsunami wave that essentially created a meltdown. Again, that was the Fukushima power plant. So moving on, there's three types of destructive waves that we're going to talk about. The first is the storm surge, and storm surges, those are high winds that push water against the shore. You may see those quite a bit. It's not essentially a tsunami wave. It is just winds that take this wall of water and push them. They haven't started from any type of earthquake or anything else. It's just surface currents that are driven by wind that build up and push the wall of water. Okay, 90% of all hurricane deaths are from storm surges, not the wind. So in fact, it's not the winds that cause 90% of those deaths. It's actually the water moving in and then receding. It's not being prepared for that. The second type of destructive wave that we will talk about is the Seiche. The Seiche is a wave that sloshes back and forth in a closed body of water. That could be, you're going to watch some videos of a pool that's experiencing a Seiche, or even a lake that it can experience a Seiche. Pretty much the waves just start to move back and forth until they start to resonate with one another. And when they resonate, think all the way back to this slide. The waves become in phase and they start to build on one another. And as they build on one another, they grow larger and larger and add to one another. And when they do, they start to overflow, and that's what you're going to see in the video. This is one of our videos that you're going to watch. I've posted the video links on your PHS website. So you're going to watch this video of a Seiche in a pool, and it's going to move back and forth until eventually it'll overflow. This is usually due to an earthquake. The sound waves that resonate from the earthquake and the vibrations cause the water to move back and forth. These videos, don't worry about cutting and pasting them or trying to copy them in. They are all on the PHS staff website, okay, under my name, Oceanography, where you found all of your other assignments. So you just click and watch those. The third of the destructive waves would be the tsunami wave. It's a sudden water displacement from usually a landslide, a volcanic eruption. Now the landslide would usually be underwater. A volcanic eruption underwater, an earthquake definitely underwater, where you have those fracturing zones, okay? Remember, that pressure builds up between those tectonic plates, and then when it snaps, when it fractures, when it moves across, it releases a vibration. That vibration travels through the water, it reverberates, it causes that motion, and then it builds up. As the wave travels closer and closer to shore, it'll build up, pick up speed, fall over itself, and create a tsunami. So the typical wavelength of a tsunami is roughly 120 meters. And remember, the wavelength is from one peak to the next adjacent peak. So if we look at that piece of paper again, and we make this is one peak, this is the next adjacent peak. So imagine a wave that's not close like this, but that's 120 miles from here to here, that's spread out 120 miles. And you could see that as this wave moves closer and closer to shore, that 120 miles shrinks. And as it shrinks, the amplitude, the height of the wave, gets larger and larger. And that's what gives us our large tsunami wave. So the deepest part of the ocean is the Marianas Trench, roughly 6.8 miles. So the ocean is not deep enough anywhere to not feel the effects of a tsunami. Remember, we talked all the way back, do marine animals feel the effects of waves? And we said, well, there's one stipulation that, if I could find it for you guys. Let's see. So the water needs to be half the wavelength. If the water is deeper than half of a wavelength, then the organisms won't feel it. So if we look from peak to peak, any organism deeper than half that length doesn't feel anything. But now imagine that you're going from this peak to this peak. It's 120 miles. So you're looking now 60 miles down. The ocean isn't deep enough for that, which means all marine organisms will feel the effects of a tsunami. Moving on, we could see we have some tsunami storms and what they would look like. It's this large crashing wave. You can see two waves coming towards the shore. This is one that is receding. You can see where the shore is. The water has overtaken all of those buildings, and now it is receding back. Again, I've posted this link on the staff, PHS staff website, so you can go through and watch that, as well as this link too, okay? You can see in 1958, the Alaskan tsunami was caused by a landslide. This one happened to be above land. All of this land broke away, fell down. It created a large, essentially a splash as it came down into the ocean. And what that did was create this reverberation, this wave again, now pushing this large mass of water out, traveling. The longer it travels, the more energy it builds up. And we could see in 2004, the Indian Ocean earthquake, roughly 50 foot waves overtook these areas, and completely a wall of water just washed in and pulled everything back. Usually when tsunamis are coming, there's a warning system. The problem becomes that many people tend to look towards the ocean to watch it. And if you see it, it's already too late, because remember how fast that water is traveling. It's going to overtake you. There's no way you can outrun it. And if you look all the way back in this picture, you can see how large that wave is. Because remember, as they hit the bottom, they start to roll over themselves. We've talked about these with the breakers. This is just a giant breaker. So anyway, I hope you guys have learned about tsunamis, Seiche, and the first of all, I forgot it, the storm surge. So make sure you take these notes down, make sure you watch those videos, and make sure you are getting your work in. All right, everybody, have a great day. I will see you guys in another video. Bye-bye.